Morning everyone. So, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I think it's here in this corner. This one here. Turn that bad boy on. So we're going to be taking over this garden lighting design. First things first, customer points. Brew is on. So, little backstory. They've already had historically some lights which client have bought the house and inherited. Okay, there's a little water feature just here which you will see a bit later on. That is still in use. There was old 240 lights, you know the sort, those big massive round head things that are all smashed and all the rest of it. So they have been disconnected for now. So what I'm going to do today is, before we take over and add on and all the rest of it, I'm here to make sure we test all of the armoured individually where we can see it, because some of the points have been lost over the time to the nature has took them back. That's basically what it is. So what I'm going to do is test them all out. So I'm going to show you that, how I'm going to go about it, because obviously there's no point in doing a new design if I've already got faulty cables there, and equally if the cables are okay, we can add to it and amend and save some money. So that is what we're doing today. So we're going to finish my tea. That's the first thing. So why don't you guys go and make yourself a cup of tea, and we'll get myself set up and we'll go through the little layout, a little walk around the garden, should we say. So I've been an idiot and not charged the camera. Okay, I know, stupid, I know. So it's a little bit awkward, but so what we've got a switch here, okay, that's an IP rated switch. Just the other side of this, there's a double socket, and underneath it there's a non-switch spur. So that's where they're getting their power from, okay. So we've got our armoured here, so we're going to be opening this up and finding out what's going on. So one of the switches comes to, the water feature, which is fine, that's still in operation. So which I believe is that point there. So we'll take that off and test that. So I'm guessing that they've used sort of 5 core, I'm guessing. So that's one. So we've got another one. So we're going to find these together, in fairness, because I don't actually know. So there's a light here down in the undergrowth, so I need to find out where that's supplied from. So that's one. Let's have a little look. Look, we're finding this all together, aren't we? So, like I say, the armoured, I think, has been ran behind all the trellis work and stuff like that over the years. So that is one so far, but obviously I'll have to get in there with the Camerooni. And here's another one. So in here, so we've got another one here, but I have got a cable going out, so that means I've got another one that's leading on. It's a bit David Attenborough, this, isn't it? Oof. Big cobweb. Okay. Actually don't know where that leads to. Right, okay. So, but you get the gist of it. So the idea is that we're going to be separating all those off individually. Cobweb again, lovely jubbly. So we're going to open those up. First things first, obviously I need to turn all the power off, get rid of that. We'll open those up and see what we're working with, and we'll go through the testing procedure. Right, today's video is sponsored by Tradify. For those of you who don't know what Tradify is, it's a job management software. So we use it to run our entire company, from invoicing, estimating, all that sort of tackle, okay? So there's a link in the description below. It's a 14-day free trial. Once you've clicked on that, there's no cheeky little modes where you got to put your bank details and all that sort of jazz. There's none of that. Okay, if you like it, there's a 50% discount, okay? If you use a promo code GHawk50 and you'll get 50% off for the first 3 months. But let me explain a little bit more. So by using Tradify, it's actually managed to upscale my business. So there's an options feature on there, which is a new feature to it, to be fair. So I did a job the other day and we went round and I gave them the options on there, which they didn't ask for, in fairness, was whether they wanted to upgrade all their sockets, accessories on the rewire for brushed chrome. There was other things, security lighting outside, there was outside sockets that we all put individual options on there. So there was no pressure from me whatsoever other than, have you thought about this? And it gave them a clear click on it, yes, and accept it or not. And the client actually clicked on every single one of them. They didn't realise, didn't even give it a thought, because there was a lot going on at the time. So it was a non-pressurised upscaling of the business, and it's something that you can do too. So like I say, we've been using it for a good couple of years now, and it really has made a massive difference to our company. So yeah, so if you like it, then make sure you tag us into it. You can follow us on Instagram. Links are all on the description below. But yeah, so thanks Traderfire for sponsoring this video. Right, so our yellow conductor is for the lights, red conductor is for the pump, blue is our neutral, and they've used the steel wire as the earthing system. So they've put a banjo on there. It is earthed back to the property. Okay, that's fine. Another thing is, on the switching itself, there is a crack, a hairline crack on the top, which will induce water into there, but that doesn't really matter for now because it's all going to be changed. We're going to be putting wireless switching in, okay, so that's fine. So we're going to take care of that. It's going to be wireless switching going in. So obviously they've got the patio down. We don't want to be digging all that up, hence the reason why the main priority for me, in fairness, is making sure that that first cable, so this one here, make sure this one out to that first point past the paving is okay. That's my priority on here. So we've opened this up. So we've opened this up down here, so to try and see what's going on. So I'm amazed that that hasn't had more water ingress as it is, because there is just a bit of silicone obviously been stuck on the top to there to try and stop any water ingress. But it appears on the face value that it's not. So we've had a little bit of a route around. So it's, like I say, the clients have inherited this with the purchase of the house, so they don't really know what's going on with it. And the ultimate aim is to try and save, you know, some money. I haven't got to dig everything up. So what we have got is, so this leg here, so this one here is obviously off to the pump. We've got our neutrals carried through. We've got our earthing arrangement, obviously because I've got a metal box, so the earthing arrangement should be continuous through. We haven't done any testing as of yet, and so obviously then the previous electrician has put a crimp on the end of the red conductor, because we don't need then that carrying on, because it's just literally stops here. So what we've now got is our continuous path on our conductors here for our yellow, because that is where my switch then continues on down. So out of this one, so this one here for my switch from my first leg, carries it on then obviously to the next one. So it is a little bit confusing. I have found all of them, I believe. So one is in there. Right, so I believe, try and hopefully focus in on that, all right. So we found that one there, okay. So that has got a light just to your left now. But if you notice, there's another leg there that's just been taped up. So that's not by me, that's just been taped up and not connected. It's been terminated into the box, but not terminated into the installation. So what's confusing is that first leg then comes down to this light there, which is smashed up, and then it seems to stop. Okay, so what we've done is literally it's just sort of down there, so which is fine, and then it leads round to here, which is that bad boy. And again, not been terminated at all. So they've not been terminated. I've got a gland in the bottom of it, a blanking plug, sorry, into the bottom. And then that leads on, so we had a bit of a dig around, comes behind all this, and then that was buried in amongst the soil. So we've got an open end, so they've just stopped. So what I found strange about it is that they've just gone to that first light, and then I don't know whether it's a case of they're just, sorry, I'm having to carry the power bank. I don't know whether it's a case of they've just run out of money, or that's all they wanted, or what. But I don't really know which way to go with it, in fairness. So the idea is that we're going to get the testing done. So we'll make sure my first point of call is absolutely bang on. That is the priorities. Make sure that's sorted. So we're going to go through that testing in a second. As long as that one's done and that's okay, what I might do, because I'm not necessarily going to use that, I'll test to this one, but I need something in that corner. I need something in this corner here. So down here, I need something down there. So we're going to be using some IP rated adaptable boxes to going in. So we might end up just redoing that back bit. But let's go and test it and see what we've got. Okay, first things first, we've linked out, so we're going to do an R1 plus R2. So we've linked out, we've put a link onto the banjo bolt, onto the armouring of the steel, and then obviously we've picked up my red line conductor. So we're going to set this to ohms, null this out. Like I say, I'm not massively worried about the results right now. I just want to make sure I've got a low enough resistance on there. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go onto the box. Okay. So, okay, I've got 0.11 ohms. Okay, so that's doing two things now. So that's proving that my armouring is earthed all the way from there to here, to this first port of call. And then what I'm going to do, rather than being sort of cheeky about it, I'm now going to be testing the neutral as well. So I'm just going to jump down the other end, go and connect the neutral now. So the neutral's connected, because I want to make sure that my neutral conductor is all good as well. So it should be around the same result, because we've got the same size conductor, but it's actually 0.10, so it's 0.01 different. Okay, fine. And now I'm also on the same score. I'm now going to go from, so this one, which has then been linked through to over there, it only goes to 1 point. So I'm going to bypass this one and go down to there and just do my R1 plus R2 on the lighting line. So I'm just going to go just to that one. In fairness, it's not going to make much difference. Tell you what I'll do, keep it simple. I'm going to cut this off here. Okay, so I'm going to cut it off here, just keep it simple for entertainment purposes. Okay, so we're going to put that back onto the box, and I should be getting pretty much the same result that I was a second ago. Okay, so it's a lot higher. Okay, I've got 0.31. So what I'm going to do is, and it shouldn't be that high. So let's clean that up. Let's make sure I've got a positive connection on there, because it should, they're all the same size conductors, so they should all be the same. Okay, that's better. So I've now got 0.11. Okay, so that's one of the things you just need to make sure that what you're doing is right. So I've scraped that a little bit on some of my earth connection on there, and I've also took a bit of the sheathing off to get some new copper, which is much better. So obviously that's then reduced my results back down how they should be. So far that cable, I've got continuity there. So we're now going to be testing our insulation resistance test. Okay, so IR testing. So what we're now doing, okay, so I have disconnected my link on the other side, so that's completely disconnected now. I've now got rid of my neutral continuity all the way through, so this leg of the cable that way is now no longer connected to the installation. It's not connected to the house installation because I just want to make sure that this cable's okay. So we're going to cut that pump away completely, so we don't need that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test all of this out. So the other thing I need to do is disconnect that pond. If you see in here, I need to disconnect this pond pump's earthing system from the armouring, because I don't want that. I'm not bothered about that at the minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it to earth. So we've got a positive connection onto there. Set our tester to mega ohms. I'm going to test at 250 volts and see what we get. Okay, so I've got 999. So on my red conductor, so one of my line conductors, we'll go again to what was the yellow conductor, which is the lighting conductor that we were using. Okay, perfect. And we're also going to be now testing our what was our neutral conductor as well. Okay, so I've got perfect results on from my earthing conductor onto to all of those lines. Okay, so that's showing me I've got no damage from the outer sheathing of the armouring to my inner cores. Okay, so that's that. So now I'm going to run through the testing on the inner cores, should we say. So I'm now going from my red to blue, red to yellow, and my yellow to blue. Okay, so they're individually tested now. Okay, so I know that every single one of those cables from this point here to back there, where the switch is absolutely fine. The other way you could do that, because people in the comments will go, "Why are you doing all that for? It's a long-winded process," but that's not the point. I just wanted to show you. The other way of doing that would be if I went to link all of these three conductors together. Okay. So I link all of those out, like so, whack that to earth, retest. Okay, so that gives me another way of doing it as well. Okay, testing procedure done. Right, let's go through it. So we've got, the point down here, so from here to the switch over there, absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that. That cable is my priority cable, beautiful, that is good to go. Okay, so that is absolute result. So from this point to the next one, which is in the forest, which is tucked down there, absolutely fine. From that point to down on the patio, down to this point is also fine. Okay, but I've stopped. Okay, I've stopped there because I also need to make sure that I've got, from what I want to achieve, okay, is making sure that is that cable going to work for me anyway? And I don't think it is, in the wrong location. So I'm going to stick you up there. I'm going to show you what my plan is and how I'm going to go about thinking about the mindset of what the client's going to want for the garden. Okay, so the idea is, right, so I'm going to be putting a nice light down here. It's all going to be warm white. I think in the garden it needs to be warm white over anything else. So we're going to put a light down here that's going to highlight this area, because they wanted, like, there's a bit of a seating bit here and they wanted some sort of mood lighting that's going on down there. Wicked. So that's number one. The next stage, okay, is going to bring you back down here. Okay, so that is one. The other stage, okay, so we've also got a nice seating area here, and this bit, this archway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit a spike light this side next to this you know, border, facing up to highlight that area. So it's going to take care of all of that. Okay, so when you're looking from the house, which is up here, all of a sudden it's going to make this area just pop. So the reason why I do it with spike lights rather than a fixed sort of wall light on here, because as the seasons change, certain plants die off, some plants come to life. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am no titmarsh, whichever one, you know what I'm on about. You know, but I do know that obviously plants die and some grow in different seasons and all the rest of it. So that is where I want that one sitting there, okay? So it's just to make it, because you don't, in fairness, in garden lighting, less is more, believe it or not. It really is. So you just want to pick some key areas. So there's actually like a pergola bit here, which can just spin you round. So there is this pergola here, okay? So what we're then going to do is then going to bring a cable up, and I'm going to put a light further up into the actual pergola roof space, which then again from the house is not going to be blinding you straight into the house. It's going to highlight down in that area in there. Okay, so perfect. So we've got highlighted area. This area here is going to be highlighted, and then we're over to the lawn. Okay, so lawn area. So we've got our pergola here. So we have got a wizard in the corner. Absolutely bang on. So we're going to pop a cheeky little light in there to highlight him, because in the evening again, so you're going to be all wirelessly controlled, because I think that's it's an easier option for clients then. So we can then have him on, so he's highlighted and popping, and then what I'm then going to do is drop another spike light sort of around here. So it's actually then going to be facing the tree, so we're going to highlight that tree. Not exactly sure what sort of tree it is, but it's a little tree nonetheless. And it's just about picking those areas off, and then obviously as the client goes, if they want something different, we can then add on to it more and more. But I think it's a good basis to start rather than going too crazy. So what have we got? Let's count them. We've got 1, 2, 3 into here, 4, 5. So that's 5 lights that are going into the garden, no more, and that will wrap the whole garden. I may do it so we can switch a certain section, so whether they want it to left or right, but that is still the same cable I'm going to put in. I'm going to be putting a 5-core cable in, so we can, you know, upgrade things as we're going if we need to. So yeah, so that's the idea of it. So it's a nice, quick, cheeky little video about how we're going to go about testing out this, which we've done, and also how I go about doing all the lighting designs. So it's time now for me to go and chill out. Go and put my feet up. I've earned it. I've earned a rest. So like I say, if you're new to the channel, you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. There's also, we are now, I think it's okay to say, but there is going to be a giveaway. There's going to be a giveaway coming up soon. Okay, I can't tell you any more right now because I just need to confirm a few little bits, but there's a little snippet there. There is going to be a giveaway coming soon, and it's massive. So thanks for watching. See you later.